Alrighty then, here we are. Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 481, Satisfying Expectations. There's Stanley. He's not happy with me right now because he wanted to go out, and I was just getting ready to start this, so I made him lay back down. Anyway, here we are. Satisfying expectations. The only person you need to please is yourself. Set your expectations so you can please yourself by meeting those expectations. Challenge yourself so you push your boundaries, but don't push them so hard that you break those boundaries. And then you're always failing to satisfy your own expectations because you can't live up to this idealistic standard that you've set that you can't reach. It needs to be within reach. So make sure your expectations for yourself are realistic and a little bit more, and do what you have to do to get there. Once you're reaching your expectations and achieving them, then you can build that platform to reach higher and higher. Others will follow you if you're reaching your expectations. If you're meeting what you want to do, you're doing what you want to do, and showing everybody, here's this. I set out to do this, and I did it. That's how you build trust. Trust is doing what you say you're going to do. If you say, hey, I'm going to sell 1 million copies of this book next week, well, guess what? You're going to fail spectacularly. So, what about that 1-star reviewer? How do you deal with those expectations? Oh my God, it's the end of life as I know it. Guess what? It's not. That 1-star review, that's not your issue, that's their issue. The only thing you take away from that is if you're getting a few and they're consistent, maybe you're targeting the wrong audience. Maybe there are issues with your book. Maybe there are issues that you can't control. You published it, you did everything right on Amazon, and whole chapters are missing, are showing up as blank. I did that with a book. We published the same thing, same format. I used the exact same template from book to book to book, yet in one of the new books, it had like 1 line on a page, and then you scrolled 1 line on the next page, and 1 line, and then 1 line. It's like, what the hell is this? So anyway, yeah, you get bad reviews for that. Not in your control. So what are your expectations? Get a hold of Amazon and say, why is it doing this? And try to fix it. But it's not your issue. You can try to resolve it. But your expectations, write the best book you can, publish it, and put it into the right reader's hands. That's what you do. So set yourself up first. Set yourself up to win. And win does not have to be 1 million sales next week. Don't set yourself up to fail. That's a bad way to go about expectations. Your expectations are to do what you can do within your control. Publish that first book. This is an expectation that you can do. You can write the book. You can go through it, quality control process, reread it, edit it, tweak it. Don't freak out and completely rewrite it 75 different times, because then it's not the same book you started with. It's not anything like what you had, and you may have massaged it so much that now it's a big glob of clay like what you started with, and instead of shaping it, you just made it into a different big glob of clay. It helps to write a new book and a new book and a new book and practice that process so you can get better at it. So write that book, publish it, learn, do it again. This is the process of learning. This is the process improvement, the self-improvement. And when you get there, you're going to say, yes, I needed to go on this journey. People ask me, what would you do differently when you first started out? I tell you what, I don't think anything, because I needed to learn. I needed to learn that I wasn't the cat's ass. And I wrote a book that everybody would love right out of the gate. They didn't until they did. But it came later. And although I look back and say this book isn't as well written as some of my newer books, it was written with passion. It was written with a great story. It had a pretty good flow that could have been better, but it had a pretty good flow and good enough. And we did end up selling a lot of copies of all those first books that I wrote over time. It just didn't come right away. It came later as I established myself as an author, and as I write better nowadays. It's still, I look back with the passion that I wrote those first stories, and that is something that is hard to recapture nowadays after 100 and some books. Passion for the story. Once you have that, that's good. So your expectations, write the best book you can as fast as you can and get it into the right reader's hands. Set that expectation and deliver and meet your own expectations. The only person you need to satisfy is you. All right. Peace, fellow humans.